So let's talk about teachers, the single most critical element in the education process. And that is true no matter what the situation. So the nation faces a supply issue here as well. According to a recent study by NCTAF, National Commission on Teaching for America's Future, a third of our teachers are eligible to retire in the next 5 to 7 years. So let's assume that they're 50 years and older. So let's assume that every teacher is a quality content teacher. Now we have the most experienced of those teachers ready to retire in the next 5 to 7 years. In the state of Ohio, it's 46%. What that will mean is that there will be a significant drop in experience in the classroom. This is by the same organization. If you move from your left to right on the horizontal bar, that's years of experience. So starting on the far left is 1 year of experience, 2 years, going all the way down here, so where you can see it trails off to 37 years of experience. Going up the bar, going up the graph, vertically, it's percentage of teachers in that category. So you can see that in this chart, 3% of teachers, in that very first bar, 3% of teachers are first-year teachers, 3.5% second-year teachers, and so on. So let's take a look at how that demographic is changing. 1987 to 88, the typical teacher had 15 years of experience. Now let's flash forward to today, where the typical teacher has 1 to 2 years of experience. The model that we have used that in 1892 and moving forward has been that the teacher, for the most part, has been the sole repository of content in the classroom, the so-called sage on the stage. So you put the teacher in his or her subject area. We measure that teacher by their degree, master's plus 13 or whatever it is, and whether or not they're certified, and that's what the federal law requires as well, that they be certified in their content area. The problem is we're going to be running out of a number of those teachers. Here's another problem. And finding the right teachers. This is current. In the state of Georgia, there are 440 high schools. There are 88 qualified physics teachers. And Georgia is no different than almost any state. Let's be frank with one another. Whether it's Georgia or my home state of West Virginia or Ohio, we're not going to find a qualified certified physics teacher for every classroom that needs one. So what is it then we're going to use, and how is it we're going to get high-quality content into those classrooms? Let's deal with one other crisis, and then we're going to talk about the solution some. The increased demand for global demands for skilled workers. Start on your left, and it's 1960. Move to your right, and it's 2002. So this is the demand for types of workers and the skills that workers use. The red line that's been steadily going down is what's called routine tasks. Now these are tasks that cannot be done by a computer for the most part, but they don't require a lot of synthesis and abstract thought. Truck driving, hair dressing, a number of other occupations. There's a point at which you can't cut it anymore, but you can see a significant change has occurred. Now, the one that has been the bread and butter for your state and my state and indeed the country for many years, and remembering we're starting in 1960, and watch the blue line, and that is the, I'm sorry, that is actually routine tasks. The other was manual tasks. These are routine tasks. Now, this has been the breadwinner. Automobile manufacturing, assembly line production, chemical production, which was key in my state, and obviously coal mining. These were tasks that did not require significant abstract thought and basically were fairly routine functions, but they paid well. You stood on the assembly line and you did a particular function all day, and it paid well. And you can see the dominance up until through the 70s, and then begins to sharply decline. Apparel manufacture in the South, and lumber and timber, furniture manufacturing in other parts of the country. So what are the tasks that are on the upgrade? Well, it's the abstract tasks. And indeed, many of these abstract tasks are now part and parcel of the routine tasks. Because the abstract tasks it's not where you just do a one function. It's where you now have to take a number of facts and turn it into a conclusion. You have to be innovative. It's called deeper learning skills. You have to be able to extrapolate. And so today's modern assembly line is not a bunch of people simply in line. It is a process by which everyone is working as a team, and they're constantly talking and communicating with one another. And so where is our education system? And are we educating for truly what needs to be what needs to be the skills? So let's also take a quick look at what the workforce demands. This, once again, if you look at far left, 1973, 2018 is the far right. This is a study by Anthony Carnevale at Georgetown. Now, I want you to look at, this is what the workforce requires, this is what the percentage, this was education attainment in the workforce at particular times. So in 1973, 32% of our workforce did not have a high school diploma. 32%. So now, the magenta is high school diploma. And so you can see the combination. 40% had a high school diploma, 32% did not have a high school diploma. So 72% of our workforce in 1973 had a high school diploma or less. So let's now quickly move forward. The green is some college. The purple is associate's degree, bachelor's degree, and graduate degree. The significance is that going from 72% of our population not needing a high school diploma in 1973, today 60% of our population working force has some post-secondary, and that number only skyrockets. Yet, do we have a system in place that will truly meet that demand for increased skills?